What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder. I'm Warren Thompson, and today we have some really big news about the Thunderbolts and Steven Yeun. And we also have some hints, I believe, at Marvel Studios' new Wolverine in the MCU. Not Hugh Jackman's, but a new one, which of course we'll talk about in this video. If you haven't heard the news over the past week, Steven Yeun has been cast for a role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, specifically in the upcoming Thunderbolts film. Many people know Steven Yeun from The Walking Dead and Invincible. Now, there was a lot of talk about who he could be playing in the Thunderbolts, and since it was kind of about Super Soldier Serum and Hulk's leading into Captain America 4 New World Order, I thought that he might be playing a sort of older version of Amadeus Cho, a version of the Hulk. After all, both the character and the actor are Korean American. However, we have some new reports today talking about who he could be playing, and I honestly am kind of really digging it. According to some recent reports, he is actually going to be playing Sentry, the Golden Man, the man with the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. Now, we have several reports today about this, which of course we are going to go over, as well as talk about what the story arc and what Sentry's role is going to be in the Thunderbolts film, and how this will lead into the events of Captain America 4. And speaking of Captain America 4, Anthony Mackie has recently opened up about how Marvel Studios is trying to prevent spoilers even more than before. So we'll talk about that as well, because it's actually very interesting. But first, let's start off by the first report that came out yesterday, and that was from Grace Randolph. In a tweet, she said, well, and she did the emoji with its mind being blown. It seems the MCU has a lot of faith in Steven Yeun after all. He is not Amadeus Cho. Hashtag Thunderbolts, hashtag Marvel. So right away, people already thought, okay, well, maybe he is going to be playing Sentry. And she followed up this tweet with another tweet that said, there were only two choices, my dudes, with a gif that says, think about it, heavily implying that he is going to be playing Sentry. However, more reports soon followed. An hour later, a report from Can We Get Some Toast, the insider account, says, so it looks like it's not an if, replying to a previous tweet that they posted saying, if Steven Yeun is Sentry, I hope his hair stays black and turns blonde when he powers up. Our first live-action Super Saiyan could be him, which, yes, I totally agree. I would love for this to happen. But that is what they are replying to, stating, so it looks like it's not an if. Now, I really want a Super Saiyan power-up sequence for him, confirming he is indeed going to be playing Sentry. The insider account My Time to Shine Hello, who has a great track record with these scoops, has also retweeted what Can We Get Some Toast has said, further backing up the report. But that is not all for the reports. The Illuminati has also reported that Steven Yeun is going to be playing Sentry. In a report on their website, they state the rumor about the Thunderbolts story is that Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine's team will be facing a Superman-level threat. A threat, despite being the founder of the Thunderbolts, she will have a part in creating. She's essentially creating this team to cover up or fix her mistake. The mistake was the creation of Marvel's Golden Man, a near unstoppable force, the Sentry. The Sentry, according to our sources, will be portrayed by the incredible Steven Yeun. Now, Marvel has not commented on this at the time. I've even reached out myself, but these sources do have really good track records. So we probably are looking at our Sentry here with Steven Yeun. And I think it's a great idea, especially if you check him out in this picture right here. This is fan art as Steven Yeun as Sentry, and I do think he looks really, really awesome. And credit to the account 21x4 for creating this. Now, like I mentioned, we do know a little bit about the plot of the Thunderbolts, and we also know that this movie is going to go into Captain America New World Order, with the primary focus being the government creating super soldiers and what we'll call enhanced individuals. Because like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I personally believe that Valentina Allegra de Fontaine could be responsible for creating Project X and possibly bringing us Wolverine, our new Wolverine, into the MCU. Not Hugh Jackman's, of course we know he's coming with Deadpool. But a lot of connections are now starting to be made with this movie and with Captain America New World Order. So there's two very important things about the plot of the Thunderbolts that I believe tie into Wolverine. One is the rumor that the Thunderbolts team is going to visit Tiamat. This is the Celestial that got killed by Cersei in the Eternals. Well, at least as far as we know, Tiamat is dead. But according to some previous reports, the Thunderbolts are going to go to what is called Tiamat Island in search of Adamentium. Most people know that name. It is what the metal inside of Wolverine is made of. The metal inside is Adamentium. And apparently Tiamat Island has Adamentium. Now, whether that's the Celestial actually being made out of Adamentium itself or only being a part of the Celestial, we are unsure yet. However, what we have heard is that the Thunderbolts team is going to the island to collect it. Now, of course, that makes you wonder, why exactly are they collecting Adamentium? Well, the first thought in everybody's mind, of course, is Wolverine. When you hear Adamentium, you think Wolverine, the metal that is infused to his skeleton. But we think about it even more when we know that Sentry is actually going to be in this movie. You see, Project Sentry was a combination of Canada and the United States getting together to form this scientific research group that is trying to recreate the super soldier serum. So basically, it was influenced by Project X. Eventually, Robert Reynolds, the name of Sentry, would work his way into one of the labs, drink the Sentry serum, which is basically the super soldier serum on steroids, like a lot of steroids, and he would gain the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns, basically turning him into the Superman of the MCU. Now, this is what happens in the comics. In the MCU, it could be quite different, and they could tie in Project X directly to Project Sentry. After all, we don't really know if Project Sentry is going to exist. All we know is that Valentina Allegra de Fontaine is apparently going to create Sentry. And this very well could be a part of a Project X program, and that could be why she wants Adamentium, because in her Project X program, she could have a mutant that can heal Logan. She wants to put that Adamentium inside of his body, because we know that going into Captain America New World Order, there's going to be a pretty big story about super soldier serum, and apparently we are going to be getting some more versions of the Hulk. The famous one obviously being Red Hulk. But I think a good amount of the story is simply going to be about enhanced individuals and the government trying to create them. It could be a big deal about how the government created Sentry and he's now a big threat and they had to take care of him. Of course, I do believe he is going to be a good guy eventually because he is in the comics, but he also does come with the Void, which is bad and is always attached to him. So that'll probably be the true problem in the Thunderbolts, the Void that comes with the Sentry. But then moving into Captain America New World Order, it'll primarily be about the government trying to have their own superhero team, one that they can control, because obviously we know that Thunderbolt Ross is the one who created the Sokovia Accords. He wants to control the Avengers. Now we know that in the MCU that is no longer the case. He doesn't control the Avengers anymore, and if we know anything about Thunderbolt Ross, that is not cool with him. He wants to have his own team of superhumans that he can control to do his work, and I think that's where a lot of the story is going to come in Captain America New World Order. And the story about the government, Valentina, creating Sentry, a new super soldier, but really just a Superman, that's going to tie heavily not only into the future, but also in the next Captain America film. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that Project X is a government organization that gets introduced into the MCU in either the Thunderbolts or Captain America New World Order. But hey, let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comments down below. Do you think we'll see a hint at Project X? And what do you think about Steven Yeun playing Sentry in the MCU? Leave your thoughts and theories down below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest news. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.